a lot of people nowadays, when they need an electrician, they need a plumber, they need someone to check out their HVAC. What's the first thing they do? They pull up the internet, they pull up their phone and click plumber near me. They type into Google electrician near me. And it's just important to be one of those electricians, one of those plumbers on there that is pouring into their digital presence, so they can be the first one when homeowners are typing in such and such business near me, that they can be towards the top. Welcome to Digital Marketing Shop Talk, or DM Talk, presented by Valorous Circle. My name is Mike Mahaffey. I'm the digital marketing, media specialist for Valorous Circle. And here along with me is...
I'm Jeremy, and I'm the Senior Director of Marketing at Fuller Circle as well.
It has been a long time coming, Jeremy, that we've been wanting to start this podcast, to say the least. Getting it off the ground. Valorous Circle has had a handful of other podcasts, like the Cleanup Podcast or the 91 Day Success Podcast. But I know you and I have talked a lot about trying to get one that's really geared toward our niche, which is home service hookup or home service businesses. We really want to best serve them, create a community to be able to best serve them, talk about digital strategies, tell stories on here, invite other business owners on here to explain kind of some stories that they might have about their industry.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm a little bit of introverted, so having a conversation between me and maybe a guest is going to be fantastic. So I'm looking forward to this a lot.
Oh, I mean, I was going to say, me too. I think it just offers a platform that, as I said, we can discuss our marketing expertise on here, so that other business owners will be able to take what we have to say, take some tips, tricks away from this podcast. But along with that, I think, and more importantly, we can invite those business owners on here as well, so they can share their stories, so they can share how their business is going, how they've seen success in their industries, just so that other business owners, other entrepreneurs that are watching this in the home service industry can get feedback off of that, to get more advice to maybe apply to their business as well.
Yep, I totally agree. This is going to be fantastic.
Yes. So I guess my question, to kind of, because I think this first episode would be a great one to explain who we are, why we're passionate about the home service industry, and why we want to help them. So I guess, Jeremy, I wanted to kind of lay it out for you and give you the platform to kind of express, why are you passionate about the home service industry? Why is that Valorous Circle's niche? Why do we want to help them out when it comes to marketing?
Yeah, great question. If we have some time, I'd like to kind of explain how I got to the position that I'm in, if that's okay. So
let it roll.
All right. So I grew up in the country. We grew up in a really small town, and my dad was a master plumber. He's actually a pipe fitter for General Motors. But we were always working on our house. We're always, drywall, and we're always plumbing, just kind of gutting it out and getting it ready to go. And when I came to college, and I started developing marketing, I always have a passion for people who don't know what's entailed in marketing, and then trying to help them. And having that history of my dad being a plumber, it really made an impact on, like, I can talk to these people, right? When we're having a conversation, I know exactly the pains that they're feeling because I've been there. My dad's kind of the same way. So I have a passion for helping people in the home service industry, specifically because they're needed. There's a housing shortage in the United States. Old houses need to get fixed up. Damage happens to them all the time. Roofers, it's much needed. And if they're good people, I want to be able to connect them with the people they need to serve. And that's pretty much what digital marketing is making sure we're in front of them at all times. So
no, that's really good. So I guess my question is, how how growing up in a family that was focused around home services, what was kind of your route to get into digital marketing to where you're at in your position with Valorous Circle?
It's not that I ever felt like I was the odd one out, but I was the kid who always had a sketchbook open. And so when I went to marketing class or marketing school in college, I went to Kendall College of Art and Design. It was specifically for I had the artistic touch, and Kendall was a way for me to find out what I wanted to do with that. Um, so it's not that like home service industry was the first industry I picked, to be honest with you. But now that I've landed there, I really feel that there's a comfort zone on those I'm helping. So, um, a journey takes 1,000 footsteps to get where you need to go. So,
As I said, I know originally a lot of your background was in real estate and working with real estate agents to help their individual marketing plans and getting their brands out. So I'm sure there's a beauty to it at this point in your career that you're able to mesh your passion behind digital marketing with being able to serve home service business owners. Do you feel that?
I do, and I think it all comes down to who they serve as well, right? Homeowner, American Dream, the people who need it for us, or need the services for them. So,
Yep. No, yeah. I think one thing you said a little bit ago that I want to bring back up that's very important is the importance of the trades industry, the home service industry right now. We've just seen, especially in my generation, the younger generation, we've just seen such a push to say the least, the business world or just college and less of the trades. And so it's like more important than ever to really try to promote those trade jobs. And unfortunately, because the trade business owners are so they spend all their years being experts at their crafts, being an expert pipe fitter, being an expert plumber, being an expert electrician, that unfortunately a lot of the times they might feel a little less experienced when it comes to the digital world, when it comes to some of the jargon we might throw out like SEO or working with Google to rank. And that's, I guess, I want to elaborate is like why we're both passionate about that, because we know, like, my father also is in the home service industry. I grew up in a poured wall family, so growing up pouring basements, pouring foundations for houses. Still to this day, my two brothers are still involved with that, and so it's the same thing. I'm very passionate about it, but I see it firsthand that they become experts at what they do and being able to provide for homeowners, and being expert craftsmen, that they might fall behind. And that's where I guess my heart behind wanting to be able to provide the digital presence for them so that they can still focus on what is important to them, which is being able to create a perfect product for their homeowners that they're building for. But then they have people like us that can do their digital presence so they can outrank and compete online, and so they don't fall from behind. I guess my question to you, Jeremy, as a marketing director, why is that important for home service business owners to while they're still being experts in their crafts, why is it still important for them to make sure that they're not falling behind in the digital world?
I think you have two choices when you decide that you're going to show up for the day, right? Do you work on your business or in your business? And unless you have the bandwidth or the capacity and the knowledge to actually market your business for tomorrow's jobs, you're always kind of consistently working on today's jobs.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to digital marketing, having an expert or having somebody you can lean on to make sure things are getting done is just vital for growth, for finding the next job down the line, filling that pipeline.
Yeah. No, I agree. As I say, a lot of people nowadays, when they need an electrician, they need a plumber, they need someone to check out their HVAC. What's the first thing they do? They pull up the internet, they pull up their phone and click plumber near me. They type into Google electrician near me. And it's just important to be one of those electricians, one of those plumbers on there that is pouring into their digital presence, so they can be the first one when homeowners are typing in such and such business near me that they can be towards the top.
Yeah.
So I guess I want to go full circle to some of the other things. So as I said, we're kind of already going into some of the things some tips and tricks that me and Jeremy want to provide during this podcast. But I also want to talk about where I think we'll even provide more value and create a community is allowing business owners. We want to invite business owners on this podcast to share their stories. Yes, Jeremy, why do you think that's important for this podcast to be able to be a platform that plumbers, that electricians, that roofers, that damage restoration experts can come on and share what their business is like, what their story, how they've come to be? Why is that important?
I think people need something to strive for, right? So even if it's somebody that we have on this podcast as a guest that is doing really, really well in a certain aspect of their business, other people who listen to this will be able to take that and glean from it and actually put it into practice for theirs. At the same time, I know the people that we have on, they're going to have struggles, right? We're going to have good conversations about what they're doing right. Maybe they ask us questions on what they can do to improve. And I think that, if you're listening to this, stories are kind of what bind us, honestly. So learning from other people's experiences is going to be a fantastic outlet for anybody who wants to listen.
I think that's so important. I think what you literally sent me, was it yesterday, a TED Talk on the art of telling stories with your business. It's just important. I'm pretty sure there's college majors for people, or college classes or courses that literally will teach on that, of just being able to be a good storyteller. And there's a reason behind that. There's a reason why still to this day people are flooding to movies, why still to this day people are still reading hundreds of books per year. And that's because they love a good story. And so that's important as business owners to be able to find that route, that avenue for you to be able to take how you've come to be, your route to success, your route to becoming a business owner, and be able to tell that in a story that engages people and gets them to, I think more than anything, build that trust. By telling that story, you're getting that connection, and you're being able to build that trust through your story. And that's really why we want this podcast, because a lot of business owners might not have this avenue. They might not have their own podcast. I'll be the first one to say, I think at this point, most business owners should start their own podcast, but obviously I understand there's a lot that goes to it, and it can be kind of scary at sometimes. So at least we want to be able to create this platform that they can come on and share their stories. And so we're excited. And this is just the beginning. And we're gonna have a lot. This podcast is going to be once a week. We're going to release it every Friday, and maybe down the road as this podcast continues to grow. I think I'll speak for Jeremy as well. We'd like this podcast to even grow, maybe twice a week, and see how that goes. But for now, as we're launching it, we'll start it once a week, and we're just excited to see this grow.
I love it. So I got a question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Do you think the people that we're trying to talk to, the plumbers, electricians, roofers, do you think they tell their story enough?
I think I would say no. Just for the sole fact, I know that's a general statement to say that all plumbers, all electricians, all home service business owners don't. I know that's a very generalist thing to say, but I would say in general, no. Just because I think, as I said, there's college courses, there's literally college majors that teach you how to tell your story. There's public speaking classes. And so when it comes to home services, as I mentioned earlier, they spent their whole years growing up, 30, 40 years, becoming an absolute expert as an electrician, as a plumber, that they might not have the public speaking ability or the skill as much as someone else who's been doing it their whole life. And so that's where I would say no. And that's where I think we always use this saying that it just starts with doing it. It starts with practice. It's just like a sport. I'm a big sports guy. Some of the stuff you can see behind me, I'm a big sports guy. And it's just like practicing when you were in high school, when you were playing Little League, when you were playing football. At some point, it's playing and practicing. You're not going to be able to go out and perform on game day without practice. And that's the same thing with telling your story. That's the same thing with recording video. That's the same thing with being on a podcast. It takes practice. The first time you click record, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be rough, but you can say you did it. You can check it off your list. And so it really just starts with being able to say, let's click record. Let's get this started. And the more you do it, the more you practice, the better you'll get. So kind of doing full circle back to the original question, I would say no, they don't tell their story enough, home service business owners, but that doesn't mean they can't, and that doesn't mean they shouldn't. I always encourage people to do that as well. Hopefully that, I was going to say that was a roundabout way to answer your question, but hopefully that answered your question. I was going to say, do you have anything else to elaborate on that?
No, it does answer it. To me, I probably use this example with you. There's a path to mastery, and once somebody's mastered something, they forget to do some of the other items that are important. Meaning, like, you're 16 years old, you get into a car to drive down the road, you're checking the mirrors, you're buckling up, you're nervous to put the key in, right? When you master something, you can pop into any car, and sometimes you forget to adjust the mirrors because you know how a car works, right? So for the people who we want to talk to, I would urge them to tell stories about how they help clients more. I watch this guy on TikTok. I don't know why I'm obsessed with him, but like, and actually there's a bunch of people doing this now, but he mows lawns for a living, right? And what he does is he picks somebody at random who has a bad lawn. He does it for free, and I'll sit there and I'll watch the entire video. Sometimes it's up to 2 minutes, but he's telling a story. I help people with their lawn. I know his business is blowing up, right? Why can't a roofer do that? Why can't a roofer say, I see a hole in this old lady's roof, we're going to patch it for free, and we're going to tell that story, and this is why we do this. It's not, we need to make a living, but this is, we have a compassion side to us too. People will be attached to a story like that a lot quicker than them sitting on a soapbox saying, we do metal roofing, we do metal roofing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, stories sell. Exactly. There's one thing of just going in front of people and say, hey, do business with us. Hey, do business with us. It's another thing to tell a story and get people to relate, just like you were saying with the lawnmower. It's funny. I come across those people all the time too. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But
lawnmowers and power washing. Those are like,
yep.
Yeah, very sad. Anyways, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was going to say, it's being able to tell that story. And I think, I don't want to oversay it, but I would say most good, emphasis on good, home service business owners would say one of the things they value the most, one of the things they do what they do and why they wake up when their alarm clock goes off in the morning is because they want to serve it. They want to be able to provide a service for homeowners, for business owners that are in need. They want to be able to take care of people. And so exactly what you were saying, Jeremy, being able to, why not once in a while do a service for free to someone who is in need, being able to just do it for free, patch a hole, clean up someone's yard. The little amount of effort, because you're an expert at what you do, that you can do and provide for helping those people in need, being able to have that, record it, and create a story out of it just tells wonders. As I said, a lot of business owners have that in their heart because that's why they do what they do.
I think there's personally there's a fear, I think, of saying, like, they do these good deeds to get the credit for it. It's okay to take credit for good deeds, right? At the same time, if you help somebody, I think that means more than the credit you take, and it's okay to tell that story. It's actually really important to tell that story, because if you do that service for somebody, you're going to start getting trickle-in conversations happening, like, hey, my grandma has a leaky pipe, right? She can't afford it. Would you mind doing a story on her? that's going to start promoting yourself. And I think that's okay. It's not that we're going to give our stuff away for free. Small jobs or something like that, I think would be a good opportunity to have conversations. So
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think there is a thin line that they might walk there when telling a story of like if they're doing it for credit or to pat themselves on their own back to get some good PR, but don't really mean it. But I think it's when people do that, you can tell their heart behind the camera. You can tell if they're just doing it for street cred, just to pat themselves on the back, and you can usually tell through the camera if their heart is in the right place too. So as long as you're building a story in doing that in a way, and you make sure you kind of check yourself while you're doing it, that your heart is in the right place, that you want to serve people well, then I think that will show, and I don't think you'll have to worry. I mean, no matter what you do, there will always be people that push back and hate what you do, but it's you push those aside and you do that for the people that enjoy what you do. But
there's a lot of times where I'd help somebody with digital marketing or something like that, in the past, and they'd want to hug me when we parted ways. And hindsight's 2020. I should have told those stories more, right? Because when they hug you, like you actually made a huge impact on their world. So hopefully moving forward, you take my my hindsight and make it a brighter future.
Exactly. I mean, and there's a reason why the biggest companies that you see running TV ads, posting things on the internet and all that stuff is testimonial based. This person was excited or very satisfied with the work that they had done with their house or whatever their services be. Testimonials are those mini stories, and testimonials sell. There's one thing for me, if I were a home server, if I were a plumber, and I'd be like, trust us, we do good work. That only goes so far. But if you let other people that you provide the service tell your story for you, there's a lot more credibility behind that as well. And so we'll always be people that encourage business owners as much as they can to get as many testimonials as they can. Videos as well. Would you do importance of video testimonials?
They are extremely important because I mean, it takes us. All you need to do is get our cell phone, do an USI video. I'm using a Ted Lasso term. Do an USI video. Yeah. They're like, hey, I'm here with said homeowner, and today we fixed your sprinkler. Can you tell me how this is going to impact your future lawn care? Exactly like that.
Nope. Exactly. Well, I'm just excited, Jeremy. I'm excited to be able to, and I keep relating or keep saying this term, but it's a community. We want this podcast to be a community. We want this podcast to offer a platform, as I said, for people to come on and tell those stories like we've been talking about all podcasts. So I kind of want to use this as a call to action. If you see this, you own a home service business, or you have credibility and you're involved in the home service industry, we'd love to have you on. We'd love to have you join our podcast. Come on here, share your story. We'll talk about it just like Jeremy and I are having. It's going to be a discussion. You don't have to worry about this being a 60-minute or 2020 interview, Barbara Walters interview style. We just want to have a discussion. We want to talk about your hard work, how you've got to where you're at today, and to give you an avenue to share those stories. So I'm excited. Jeremy. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited for this.
I am too. We picked the terminology DM or digital marketing shop talk because I love it. My brother-in-law, he's an auto mechanic, right?
Yeah.
And they would fix cars all day, and then they would sit in the lobby and they'd drink beers and talk cars more. But like it's passion, and we want to be able to have those conversations with people in the future. I literally want to talk shop with you. I want to say, like, how is your business doing? Like, maybe we can both walk away learning something even better, and just have some good time doing it. Not that I'm gonna drink a beer or anything like that, but that's the principle behind this podcast.
No, I agree. Just being able to create that natural vulnerability that people can come out here and share their stories. So once someone comes on here and shares their story, I guarantee you there'll be other people out there that hear it that will be able to relate and take something away. Maybe you learned a lesson through something that you've done in your plumbing world. Maybe you had a job go wrong and it kind of had a funny outcome, but that funny story you might be able to help another plumber across the country be able to learn from what you did so they don't make the same mistake as well. I think it's kind of like we want to create a camaraderie here to learn from each other.
Yep. I love it, man.
Oh, this is so good. So as I said, we want to offer this platform and invite as many home service business owners as we can on here. And then the episodes that we don't have anybody on, Jeremy and I will just take the time to discuss marketing tips, marketing tricks that you guys can use and take to your business to help continue to grow and help get your phone ringing on a regular basis. Because obviously at the end of the day, that's why you're doing what you're doing, because you want to remain busy. You want to be able to provide for your family. And so we want to help you as much as you can. So do you have any parting words, Jeremy?
No, I think you covered it. Fantastic, man.
Awesome. We're super excited. As I said, as for now, we'll keep doing this podcast and releasing it every Friday. So we're excited to be starting this podcast, and we will see you next week.